Alright, before Brock's crude music plays, today we are gonna shoot a 917. It's gonna be a great day. So let's just get into it.
Yes, yes, y'all, gotta keep it fresh, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all, microphone check, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all, rockin' with the best, y'all. From the north to south, east to west, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all, rockin' with the best, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all, microphone check, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all, gotta keep it fresh, y'all. From the north to south, east to west, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all.
Yo, dude. I think Brandon and I look like the sketchiest photographers ever. Yeah, I think just shooting in this location is pretty much where we're gonna be.
Towards that location? Or
Yeah, so here, you know, using this kind of as one of the backdrops, and then maybe pushing it around and getting kind of this high angle. So right on this road, would be beautiful. The mountains.
Yeah, up on the road is not a problem.
Yep. And then maybe as a third, we just push it down right.
I can drive it.
Oh, drive, push, yeah, whatever. You want.
You want that as a backdrop, so we need to move that.
Yeah. So right behind me is probably one of the most famous 917s ever, and one of the most famous Porsche builds ever, because this 917 was hand built, and it was done that way, so that way this guy who owns it can actually drive it on the road, because 917s aren't road legal. But anyway, he's about to pull it off the trailer after these guys are done making fun of my lenses. It's just unreal. You kept that? Wait, you kept my underwear?
Dude, why you have like socks and underwear in other people's possessions? Why is that the thing?
I like to leave something for you.
Dude, that's scary, man.
I need it.
Why do you?
I'll take it.
I left it for a reason for you.
Wait, it's sitting in the car since it got too. But I washed it.
But I washed it. Sweet, now I can change my underwear.
So, my name is Knut Markegård, and I'm the builder of the car in the background. Together with me, I have Colin from Nineweiser in the UK, which has been responsible for designing the engine. I'm from Norway, and in Norway we cannot take special cars on the road, at least until 2013, when they come with a new legislation saying that we could actually build something as long as we were within certain specifications of the rules. And then we saw, okay, we can actually fit a 917. So it all started off with a replica, but after 3-4 years, everything went down the bin when we found some molds from an original car down in Italy. And then the story went on for 6 years, and here's the result. So the 917 was the car that won the Le Mans for Porsche in 1970 and 71. And in 1972 they changed the rules, and then it was obsolete. So it was a 2-year wonder, but it won everything that he come past in the early 70s. I've always been a Porsche fanatic, but I had a friend that was really into the 917, and he said, why don't we look at the 917? And it grew on me, and then now it's the most beautiful car you can ever own in your garage. So
the start of the engine design came from the Norwegian regulations, which stipulated that it couldn't be any bigger than a 3-litre capacity. So we figured the ideal starting point would be the Carrera 3-litre or the 911 SC engine. And of course we wanted something a little bit more. So I came up with the concept of building a short stroke 3.3 litre using 100mm pistons from a 964. That started the design work. We kind of put the core engine together, and then the next stage was just keeping it simple. The twin turbocharger design, instead of using the traditional Triple K or Garrett turbos, Knut found a source of the Mitsubishi turbos, which were contra-rotating, so opposite hands, which gave a really neat design to the package. And in combination with that, I designed a Motec engine management system, put it together so it was a straightforward install for Knut, who had it mapped locally once the engine was running. Yeah, the results were pretty special.
It's a special engine, so whenever I get asked about the engine and saying, what is it? And then I started with is an SE bottom case, is an SE 3-liter crank. It has 964 cylinders, it has 993 pistons.
Yeah.
It has 964 intakes valve, it has 930 turbo exhaust valve, it has a 996 turbo oil pump, and the list goes on. So this is, what do you call it, the answer to Porsche, that everything through the whole air-cooled era can be combined in every single way. So it's a fantastic engine, and it's just a tribute to Porsche. No, so we can have a small walk through the car.
Yes,
So when we start on the front, everything that you see of exterior panels, that means well, everything with a blue color, the Gulf colors, is in carbon fiber. It is a body panel from original cars. So that means the mold came from original cars, but it's not one car, it's actually 3 cars. Same with the headlight buckets and so on. The front windshield I bought from David Piper. That was made for him back in 1985. If you look at the windshield wiper, that is made exactly like the original. That means that it is 2 356 windshield wiper that is cut in half and welded and so on. Exactly what I was done back in the days. Everything to the small nuts and bolts and the aero bolts in the front, everything is like it was originally. We had a nice grill yesterday, but we've been on the track together with Ferdy, and we took in a little bit of snow, so we don't have any grill anymore. So that needs to be remade when we come home. Mirrors needs to be here because of the regulations. This is an exact copy of the Sebring ones, made by me, 3D printed with electronic inserts, because that is our requirement. Everything else is like it was back in the days. The only thing which is a little bit special today is that if we walk around to the back, you will not find the 17-inch, half-meter wide summer tires. You will find 2 VRC Rally studded tires that we use when we go ice racing. What is a little bit special about these ones is that they are sitting on a 15-inch wide rim, but there is 2 tires on the same rim. So we actually 3D printed an insert in the middle to fit 1 tire from each side. Everything is in the back is handmade, based on the blueprints and what do you call it, copies of the original parts. The headlights is the same as back in the days. Hella is still making them. Underneath is the engine that we talked about. We can lift the hood afterwards. So the only thing you see is wrong with this one from the outside is that you will see that the fan on top is sitting a little bit longer back than original, because it's a flat 6. If it were a flat 12, it will be about 10-11 centimeters more forward. The other thing is that, of course, if you go all the way underneath the car, you will see some turbocharger, which was not there originally. But from an exterior point of view, this should be quite accurate. Nearly into.
Even the skis are from 1970.
Mike, can you
Seriously, they are.
exit frame?
Should we remove the intake on top, Colin? This one? Yeah. You can have it on the side so we can show how fake it is. Twin turbos right here. Intercoolers and directly into the intake.
So underneath it all, there's the 3-litre SC engine, of course, which is flat 6 cylinders. You've got twin intake plenums with twin throttle bodies, so the air feeds into the engine from the turbos, through the plenums, straight down into the engine. It's full electronic fuel injection, so 3 injectors on either side. And then with the engine being the opposite way round to a 911, the fan would usually be at the front. And of course we've got this downdraft fan arrangement with a bevel drive gear on the front with a different alternator. So,
What kind of specs is it now?
it depends on the boost level, but you're looking at around 450 horsepower. with full boost, 1 bar boost, which is quite conservative really. This engine would do 500, 550 if really wicked up, but there's no need with a.
That was the next question. What kind of weight?
So the weight of the car is nearly 1,000 kilos with a fuel tank, but that is because we lifted it a little bit because of regulations.
Okay.
So the street map with this one, we also have a muffler that we put in the back because we have regulations saying how loud we can be. So now it's without a muffler. When we put in the muffler and we go back to the street map, we have excessive of 300 horsepower, but we still have about 500 Newton meters of torque. So the frame in this one is normal steel.
Okay.
Yeah. If we should do it one more time, we will do it in not in actually. We started thinking about it to do it in chrome moly, but we will do in Aircooled instead, which is a new standard for everything that is frame based.
The original 917s were aluminium framed, but the frames were that subject to fatigue breakages that Porsche pressurised the frame with nitrogen and put a pressure gauge in the car, so that if you saw the pressure inside the cage, inside the frame drop, you knew you had to come into the pits because it was about to break. So whilst it would be really great to build an exact replica of an 917K with an aluminium frame, you couldn't trust yourself. No, the practicality is it's going to break, and we don't want to kill somebody if you ever build one. So.
Especially not the builder.
No.
So
so this is all steel.
Yeah. So we're trying to keep all the details. So if you look inside this one, you will see 12 throttle or intakes, but they go nowhere. It's just for appearance of the car. So of course, it would be nice with a flat 12 in there. So we will see what we can do in the future. But for regulation, that was not an option, so then we went with a flat 6 instead. So that would be a project for another day. We needed to comply to certain rules, and they are fine. That has to do with coverage of the wheels and the whole thing. There was a couple of things that we couldn't. One of them is, of course, we have a camera in the back, hidden discreetly. Because I needed to have something to see with my blind zone. If you look at the Paganis and Lamborghinis and so on, you see this, what you call caravan mirrors sticking out. And the reason is that when you have a car which is wider in the back, the rules in the whole of Europe says that the mirrors needs to be all the way on the outside. It will look like really, really stupid. So then we needed to go back and saying, could we please have it in the original position if I, in addition, have this camera to take my blind spot? And I said thumbs up and everything was good and so on. Yeah, well, the regulation says that you first need to apply. They will go through everything and then it would either reject it or approve it. And with the application, we said, well, we will comply with everything except A, B, C, and D. And that went actually quite well. It was a 10-year process, but that is because you're starting with nothing. Doing it again today would most likely be an 18-month process, but it will still be 4,000 hours. There is more people approaching me saying, we also want to build one. Yeah. I have a couple of grand that I want to put in a project like that. And I said, walk away. Well, not walk away, run away. Yeah. So if you want something like this, and you don't have the money, buy a 911 because all the bolts and washers and so on, they fit somewhere. This one is a nightmare because you need to make everything from scratch. If someone comes with the right number, it would be a pleasure to do something for another Porsche enthusiast. Yeah. But of course, it could not be for nothing. There's enough minuses on my bank account after this project, so we need to stabilize it first.
Yeah. Like you've gotten so much coverage on this car. What has the reception been like? You know, mostly positive, I'm assuming, right?
Surprisingly positive. I can count every single negative commenter I have on one hand. This is 2, 3, 4. Like
that's been brilliant.
I've been slamming this around on snow, and someone says that, well.
Break it.
Yeah. I know people that will not be happy seeing a fantastic car like this slamming around on the snow. But, well, someone has to do it. So and no one will do it with an original, because an original is either idle on its full throttle, you can't take it on the snow. So then someone needs to take responsibility for getting it on the snow. I'm doing stuff that cannot be done with an original car with your heart in the right position. This I can take out on the snow. I can do stuff with it that you do not want to do with an original. So I'm happy to contribute to that one, keeping the legend alive.
All right, so shooting a 917 in Austria, unreal experience. All right, big shout out to Outlaw Gear and Formworks for partnering up with me and helping making these trips possible. I can't do it without partners like Formworks and Outlaw Gear, so big shout out to them. And if you don't know, Outlaw Gear is an amazing place. You can grab jackets like this and like the bracelet I'm wearing right now. Outlaw Gear is good culture, vibe, everything you need, all the apparel, cool stuff. And then Formworks makes amazing keys, bespoke keys for your car, whether you have a really one-of-a-kind special car like this 917 we shot today, or you have a really cool classic car. Formworks has some amazing build keys. When you hold them, you'll know. So shout out to Formworks. Okay guys, let's go get some end closing shots, and I'll see you in the next episode.